1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody, this is Eric Hayden from Train Shuffling, and I am here tonight with two friends of the stream. We got Kyle.
Hi.
Kyle, voiceless or faceless voices, and Andrew.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So 1817 is a game that intimidates the shit out of me. And I've tried to play it once on 18xx.games. And like we were just saying before we started the stream, it's the mod did a little bit too much for me, and I didn't have an easy time of learning like why we wanted to do things, and some of the moderation, the automation took things over for me. So I asked Kyle if he would do a little like a strategy walkthrough gameplay with me on here, and we're gonna go through a game and try and talk about why you would want to do, what your options are and why you might want to do one thing or another, or par at this value, or all those things. And we're going to get as far as we get. We will definitely not finish the game unless we all go bankrupt. And yeah, so don't expect us to get through to the gray trains or anything, but hopefully it gets you and me a little bit more comfortable with the game and get us experimenting with it, because there's a lot here. So without further ado, I guess, Kyle, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to do this. Hopefully it goes well. So I guess
Start with, sorry.
What were you about to say?
Just that we start with $420. That's as far as I got.
Yes. So, I guess a disclaimer to people watching is my first couple games of this were at 3-player, but I have not played 3-player 1817 since my first couple games. So everything that I know is specific to mostly 4 and 5-player. So we'll see how much it actually carries through, but I'll try to give information that is generic enough that should apply to any player count. So I guess I'm also assuming that everyone watching knows how to play 1817. If you don't, then Mike, who is another fan of the show, has a great rules video for it on YouTube. If you just search for 1817 rules, and then watch that.
Dan.
Oh, Dan does.
Yeah.
It's the correction.
It's
Sorry.
On the Bankruptcy Club's channel.
Sorry, Dan. Thank you, Eric, for the correction.
No problem.
Yeah. So first thing I'm going to assume you know the rules, but don't necessarily know the implications of them. So first thing we're going to be doing is auctioning off the privates over here. You can see there's like some mail contracts, some coal mines, some bridges. I think a big mistake that a lot of people make is they bid on these privates for the privates themselves. Really, we're bidding on the Pittsburgh steel mill. This private is going to be amazing. It is worth more than its face value. But for everything else, you're really bidding on the bid power. So in 1817, it's an 18xx game. You're going to be running trains, making money. It is a financial game. It's known for being a financial game, but it's also worth noting that in order to use financial tools, you have to have money. And the way you're going to have money is by running trains well. So what we're really doing is we're trying to bid on these privates to increase our bid power so we can get the better starting locations, so we can run our trains for more money, so that we can have more money to use all of the financial tools in the game. One thing to think about is that the most a 2 train can run for in green, I guess that's maybe going into too much detail, but the best possible runs are worth $110. And that's going to be Charleston with a bridge through 2 coal to Atlanta. You can see over here. Or Charleston with a bridge through 2 coal to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh through 1 coal to Baltimore. Baltimore to South New York. and North New York to Boston. So that stretch is going to be the sort of high value part of the map where you're going to be running for the most money. And you'll also notice that for the Charleston-Pittsburgh area, I said you need like a lot of coal and bridges. For the Baltimore and New York, Boston runs, you don't need any privates. So people are often tempted to be like, okay, I'm going to like get this coal and maybe I'll start in like Richmond so I could actually build some coal and go to Blacksburg. Or I got a bridge, the bridge can go in Louisville, so I should obviously start in Louisville with my bridge. But it's actually better to have your coal like in New York and just run New York to Boston with the bid power that you got. You'll actually be running for more money not using your private than you will if you're in these poorer parts of the map, like Blacksburg, Richmond, Louisville, somewhat Cincinnati, but Cincinnati is actually okay. And actually using your privates. So you should really be focusing mostly on the bid power. Hopefully I'm not rambling for too long.
No, this is why we're here.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said there's a one private, or there was a situation where it'd be better to run without a private, more lucrative. Did I miss that?
I was saying that it's better to use use the bid power to get a good spot than it is to actually use the ability.
Got it. Okay.
Right? So like a concrete example is the Union Bridge Company right here, right? It has a face value of 80 and it gives you these two different bridge tokens. Right. Something that a lot of people will do is they'll start on like Louisville and Cincinnati. You get to place out both bridge tokens, so it feels great because you're actually like using your private. But if you're running trains between Louisville and Cincinnati, even with the bridge tokens, those are only 30 in yellow and 40 in green. Whereas if you instead put the Union Bridge into Baltimore, you just don't use its power at all. But you're running from Baltimore to Pittsburgh for $100. It's 50 and 50, or 60 and 30 and 30 in yellow, 50 and 50 in green, or Baltimore to New York for 70 in yellow, 110 in green.
Right. The private don't outweigh these better spots.
Yes, that is the concise way of making my point. Do either of you have any questions on any of the privates?
So just as a very brief review, so the privates are this opening auction is very different for this game. I know that it's essentially like the money you start from zero and you bid your way up, and if you pay under the value, then the government essentially chips in from, what is it, this $200, the seed money's right here.
Yeah.
Right. So if say the Mountain Engineers, I bid 20 on it and I get it, then I pay 20 and this 20 seed money comes in, and then that's $40 that I can use to open my company, right? In a stock round?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I don't know. I think we should just start and then we'll ask a lot of questions.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
And as a general guideline, except for the Pittsburgh private, they're all worth approximately 2/3 to 3/4 of face value. But that's also going to vary some based on player count and group. And I don't know values for 3-player because I don't really play 3-player.
That's
so
fine.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Andrew does.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think like Kyle said, the obvious first thing is Pittsburgh, right? And just...
Okay. So you bid increments of 5, right?
Yeah. So is there a reason you said this one is going to go for what it's worth? So is there a reason to bid less than the 40, or do you just start it there?
I would say 40 is definitely not going to win it. If you actually want to win it, then you should say either 45 or 50.
Got it. Okay. Sure. Let's say 45.
Do we have a concise way of tracking that? Let's probably not.
It's normally easy enough just to remember.
Yeah,
it's going one option at a time.
So when you start one, you're just now this is up for auction and we're gonna do this, or we?
Yes.
Okay, so it definitely is easy enough. So you're at 45. I guess it's to Kyle.
I will pass.
He bid 45. I don't know. So I guess if I get this, essentially it comes with this B30 tile, right? And
Yes.
why is this so good? I guess is the question.
So it is worth. So in yellow, the Bs versus not Bs doesn't make that much of a difference. It's just 20 versus 30. But as you go into green, it becomes 30 versus 50. And then as you go into brown, it's 40 versus 60. And then in gray, it upgrades all the way up to 80. So it just pays more money. And as the game goes on, it pays more and more money.
Yeah. Okay.
And because of loan interest and that everything is so tight in this game, especially at higher player counts, just having the extra $10 or $20 to your runs can really add up.
Okay. I'll bid 50.
All right. Let's let you have that for 50.
Okay. So I take the private, I take the B tile, and I spend 50. So I'm down to 3. I can do math, 370. No seed. Okay. So that goes left to Andrew.
Yes.
Okay.
So now it should be me. And not just because it's next in the order going through the list, but I'll put up the train station. And I'll put up the train station for 65.
Okay. And so that's to Eric.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll pass on this one.
I'll go 70.
It is yours for 70.
All right. So I take that over to my area here. Thank you. And take out 70. Is there a way to modify? Do you just type in what it is? Or?
Oh, if you just type in
I did it wrong.
Yeah.
70 and then you hit spend money,
Got it.
then
Got it. All right. So it was 420, so 70, so 350 is where I'm at.
So no, you type in 70 to this guy, like just type 70, not 700, 70, and then say spend money.
Oh, that's a thing. Yeah. Got it.
This is your money. That's just an interface.
Got it. So that's good. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. So
now Eric's turn. Put something up.
my turn. So with the Pittsburgh, I probably want a coal to go with it. That's my thought.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And of the coals, where are the coals here? We got bridge, minor coal, regular, major. Oh, minor, regular, and major.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll put up the major. Unless this is a stupid thing, but so I guess I'll start with 65. I don't know.
Sure. Let's say 70.
I pass.
75 because I would like that.
Yeah, and that's yours.
Okay. Is this? I don't know. How does that feel? Nominal.
I normally see it go for either 65 or 70, but also because we have so much cash,
Right.
I think that maybe overpaying for them a little bit compared to what I'm used to is fine.
Yeah, that's sort of was my thought with, especially since the pairing here, and you seem to suggest that we have a bunch of money here, so I don't know. It seems like a strong pairing.
It also depends on if you want to start 3 or 4 companies.
So that's when you start the game, you're looking at 3 or 4 as your normal amount that you're expecting.
For a 3-player game, I would say so.
Yeah.
Because we start with 420 bid power, you often want to start companies at least a bid of 110. So that way you can take 2 loans and fall back once for not having a train and still not be an acquisition. So getting $20 of bid power seems reasonably easy to me. which will then put you up to 440, which means you could start 4 companies. In general, I think more companies is better.
Okay.
But again, not experienced with 3-player.
Yep.
I do think you probably want at least 3 though.
Okay. So I won that, so it's to Andrew again.
Okay. Is there anything you'd really recommend with the train station, Kyle? Is there what seems like a good fit there?
Yeah. One of the nice things about the train station and the mile contracts is they don't really have to pair with anything.
Right.
You just do whatever you want with them.
Okay.
So it's just an extra token.
That makes sense. So why don't we do the major mail contract, and its value's 120. Let's say 95.
95 is a big bid for that. I would say that you could probably, if you bid 90, I mean, maybe Eric's going to just prove me wrong here, but I would say you'd almost certainly get it for 90. Okay, if you say 90, I pass.
Sure. Okay. So fair enough. I'll modify that to 90 then.
Is there a number that I'm looking to come out of this round with as far as opening? So I've got right now 90 and 40 is 130 plus 3, 325 right now. Like opening power. Is there a target? Maybe per company?
425. And I would say if you want to do 4 companies, you probably want your bid power to be at least 440. If you just want to do 3 companies, then I think you're probably not concerned about it.
Okay. Yeah, right. 425. 440 because I want to open at 110 each-ish?
Yes.
Okay. And I think you probably already said it, and maybe I just missed it because I was looking at the stream chat or something. This number is important. Why?
The 110.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you bid 110, it means your company starts at 55.
55, right? It's okay. It's the bid divided by 2.
Yes.
And 55.
And that means you can take 2 loans and then fall back once for not having a train yet and still not be an acquisition.
Yeah, that's important. All right. So sorry. We are at you bid. What
I bid
for this?
90 then after being told 95 was too high. So
I'll let it go for that. I'll pass.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So put that over here.
It feels funny to let that go. For like essentially that seems like free money to me. And maybe I'm not thinking about that right. Like by bidding 95, I lose liquidity. You're not even losing liquidity. Like, why would 95 have been a mistake, I guess?
So cash is better than any of the privates in this game, except for the Pittsburgh Steel Mill. So one thing to think about is if you're bidding 95, that is $95 that could be in a company. And that is effectively an extra loan in your company. And then you're going to be paying interest on that loan for who knows how long. And in the first round, interest is probably only $5. But in subsequent rounds, it's reasonably common to even see interest of like 20 in the next OR, which means your major mail is just covering its interest. And based on how people are playing, it could be 30, sometimes even 35 with very aggressive players by the round after that. So at this
interest
point,
per loan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is bid power, but it's hurting your company to get the bid power.
Got it. Okay. So do all these go, or do we just go until we pass?
We go until we pass. I don't think I've ever been in a game where they didn't all go, though.
Okay. All right. So who's it is on you, Kyle?
Yes, it is. So I will put up the Union Bridge, and I'll say $60.
Okay. I'll pass.
And I'll pass as well.
Already got a mine. Mountain Engineers. Mail contract seems fine-ish. Minor mail, maybe. Yeah, I think I guess I'll put up the minor mail. So with the thing that you're suggesting it seems like maybe taking one that has a little bit less of the chunk of the capital of the company coming out of it might be a better thing to open. Does that sound correct to you? Like, versus taking the major?
Yeah, so it's a balance, right? Because it is a cheaper private, it means that you'll get it for less cash, which keeps your company healthier. That also means that you'll probably have to pay closer to face value, so you get less bid power from it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, sure. I'll put this one up for say $45.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pass on that.
I will also pass.
Okay, spend 45, and then it's to Andrew.
I would also say if there is one private that always goes for the same price, it is minor mail always goes for 45.
Well, I'm glad I hit it.
All right. Well, so I'm cash poor. Well, or I guess not next to Eric anymore, but Eric and I are cash low compared to you, Kyle. So I'm thinking a lower value thing is probably a good idea. Let's see here. And I'm not really location tied. Let's say minor coal for 15. See how that goes.
I will definitely say 20 on that.
Okay, I'll pass.
And I'll pass.
So, like Andrew was saying, I'm kind of using my cash as a barometer for like everyone's cash here as a barometer for when I should push and not, it doesn't seem like you're getting an outrageous deal. We're all sort of getting the same kind of a deal. But I guess maybe that's a more overly simplistic view. Maybe I should be looking at cash plus what I'm holding as far as bidding power. I don't know.
Yeah. The bid power is important. Cash is also important. There are a lot of things to consider. And for your early plays, I don't think it's reasonable to worry about everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just keeping cash reasonably even and try to keep bid power also just reasonably even and not worry too much about the quality of the privates themselves.
Yeah.
Is a good idea.
Okay. Joe's asking why minor mail always goes for 45, but it sounds like that's just like the roughly, what is it, 3/4 of a 60?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it's exactly 3/4 of 60, so it's an easy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just like a low enough number that it just 50 just always feels like it's overpaying and 40 always feels way too cheap.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a good reason for it. It's just something I've seen.
So is it me?
Oh, sorry, it's me. I will put up the coal mine.
So sorry, Kyle, you won the minor coal mine, right?
It is. We go based on who put it up.
Who put it up? Okay,
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I put it up. Yes.
The minor coal.
Right. So, what are you putting it up for?
I will put it up for 45.
45. I'll pass on that too. I've got 3 coal tokens.
Yeah, and I don't have any, so it's over 2/3, or let's say 50.
It is yours for 50.
All right.
Oh, if you don't want it, you also don't have to take it.
Yeah. No, I'll take it. 50.
So then it is me.
Yes.
And we've got the regular mail pays 15, and engineers earns 20 for the owning public company every time the owning company lays a yellow tile in a mountain hex. Company must so mountains cost 15, but it gets paid. So it essentially gets paid $5.
Yes, but also mountains are free to build if you put coal in them.
Right.
So it means that you have mountain engineers plus coal that you could just get paid $20 to lay track.
All right, I'll try that. So, okay, so this is an interesting thing. I essentially want to put all of these in one company. Is that like a common thing?
Or so you definitely want to put mountain engineers and major coal into your Pittsburgh company. You do not actually want to put the Pittsburgh private in the Pittsburgh company, and you probably don't want to put minor mail in there either.
So that allows the owning company to place the special Pittsburgh yellow tile during the tile laying phase. Okay. The Pittsburgh company doesn't need to be the one that actually lays this.
Yeah. You just need the company that lays it to be running before the Pittsburgh company. So the more standard play is to start like in New York or something with a really high company because it needs less track, and then it could lay Pittsburgh for it because Pittsburgh ideally wants to be running 3 trains as soon as possible, running to Baltimore, Cleveland, and Charleston. So it has a bunch of track plays it needs to be doing. So if someone else can lay its home for it, that helps it out a lot. And it's going to be your better company. So having a weaker company help out your better company is going to be good for you.
Okay. I'll put this up for $30.
All right. For 30.
So far my strategy is 3/4.
Yeah. I'll pass on that.
I will also pass.
All right. 30.
I think 3/4 is a good strategy.
I'll take it from you. Okay. And then it's Andrew.
Yes.
Right. So we've got 2 things left. Let's say the bridge company for 30.
I pass.
I don't know why this is the auction zone that I keep putting things in, but so for 30, I also pass. You win it.
Alrighty. So let me take out my 30.
And then Kyle for the last.
Yeah, and I'll put up the mail contract for 65.
Oh, strong. Or no, I'm thinking 2/3. That is actually close to 2/3, isn't it? I don't. It's just under 2/3. You're getting a deal. That's fine. I'll pass on that.
Isn't it? If he's
67.5 is 75%.
Right. Yeah.
So I pass. It's to you, Andrew.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Joe, we have not been adjusting the bank pool for purchases. With the seed money?
Oh, yeah. I did that at the beginning, but then I stopped. I've never seen it matter.
Okay.
Except for like my second game. So
Because
yes, if you're all new, you might be underbidding for privates a lot, and then this can matter.
Right. Because we bid at roughly 3/4, we could like paper napkin this, but I'm sure, because of that guidance, we're in line with what you said.
Yeah, I don't think we did it.
Right. Oh, I guess you could just look at what your bidding power is over 420, subtract 420 from it, and sum up the 3 of us, right? And that would be our seed money. So
and now, on that note, a helpful thing I find in TTS is for everyone to calculate their bid power and then make a little text note above your player board so we can all see what everyone's bid power is.
Okay.
Just cash plus value of privates.
Yep.
So mine's going to be 480.
Mine is not. I gained $30, but I got Pittsburgh, so I don't know.
Yeah, so typically whoever gets Pittsburgh is going to have less bid power, but in exchange, you get a really good starting spot sheet. Okay. Unless one of us wants to steal Pittsburgh from you. Right? Getting the private does not guarantee you the starting location.
Right.
In my experience, taking Pittsburgh away from the person who has the Pittsburgh private is normally worse for the person who then has this crappy Pittsburgh company than it is for the person who bought the private and can't use it.
Yeah. It's shooting yourself through your own foot, right?
Yeah.
as they say.
And now Eric is up to auction off a company.
All right, so this I do need a quick refresher on how this goes. I just pick a company, I pick a location, I name a bid. That bid is going to be divide that bid by 2 is the stock value that I'm targeting. And I'm only able to start a 2-share company at this point in the game, right?
Right.
Is that everything?
Minimum bid is 100, maximum bid is 400.
Okay, the red box here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think maximum bid will matter right now, but
right. And so since I have a bidding power of 450, but I am looking to get probably this coal mine and engineering in one company. That's 130. So that means I'm kind of overpaying. You know, if I open one at 130, I have no cash in it. And actually, it would drop down to 120 unless I contributed $5 and did 135. Or no, sorry. You divide by 2, right? So the 90, this would be 130 divided by 2 is 565. Yeah.
Yeah. So you probably do want both of these in your Pittsburgh company. And then even with no cash, taking away 130, right, leaving with only 320, makes starting 3 more companies really awkward, right? Because you can't do 110 for each of them.
Right.
So I think you're set up pretty well to just only do a 3-company start.
Okay. In that case, I just kind of divide this as evenly as I can.
You can divide it as evenly as you can, or also maybe like Baltimore is just an amazing starting spot. So, and it is better with more money because it's surrounded by some expensive tiles. It's like maybe you want to put a ton of your money into Baltimore and then a decent amount into Pittsburgh, and then have like a third company that kind of sucks. And most of your games will be based around Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Or you could divide it more evenly and get a more balanced start between your companies.
Okay, so
both are fairly equally viable, I think.
So let's say I want to try that. Well, I guess I need to find a company, right? Baltimore. What's our Baltimore? Need to find an appropriate company. Like Erie, Alton, and Southern. Alton and Southern? Is there a B&O? There's no B&O in this game?
No, there's no B&O.
That is insane. Okay. I guess I'll take the Alton and Southern. Maybe this is blasphemy, but sure. Let's put this one up. And so if I want to put a ton of money in Baltimore, what is the number? What's a bid I might want to start at?
If this was 4-player, I could so easily just rattle off numbers. For 3-player, I would say just use your gut.
So I'm just trying to think about this. I have 220 in cash. I want to put not these 2 in this company. I want to put the Pittsburgh in it. So that's 40. If I started at 150, it doesn't divide nicely. 80. Oh, the numbers don't divide nicely. Or I just pick a number and multiply by 2 essentially. If I want to start at 80, then I go at 160 essentially.
Yes.
So that means I do 40 and 120. That would leave me with 100 left in cash. Sure, I guess. I don't know. Is 160 a weird bid there?
160 makes sense to me.
Sure. So I'll do 160 for the Alton and Southern. Anybody gonna outbid me? Oh, and I'm putting it in Baltimore.
In Baltimore. So my inclination is that there isn't a huge reason to outbid him for that. Am I wrong? Am I missing something leaving it there?
So there are people who are better than me who disagree with me on this, but I think Baltimore is the best starting spot on the board.
Okay.
If you also want to only have 3 companies instead of trying to manage 4, then you would probably want one of those companies to be Baltimore.
Okay. Interesting. And yeah, let's see. I think I'll pass, and I'll leave it to you to fight for that if you want.
I am also going to pass, actually.
Is this rare? That felt too easily. Like, I don't know.
I maybe should have bid you up because you are really set up for a 3-company start, and maybe you're being a little greedy here with getting Baltimore cheap. But I really like having lots of companies.
Okay. I won't look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay, so I pay. It was 160, so I pay 120 cash into the company. So I spend the money, and I put 120 into this. Yes, 120. Take money. Yeah. Drop that in the treasury. Oh, can't put it there, huh? Where did the charters go in this game?
Just in this giant table
Oh,
area.
the table there. Okay, I didn't realize it went down there because there's like a hand area here, which I suppose we should just draw these into our hand because that's where they pay for now. Hey, Renai.
They're not. But yes.
Yeah, right. We'll put them in companies, I guess. Rare for there to be. Shazman says it's rare for there to be a big bid fights in the first SR from my experience. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I took the. All right. Took them in my hand, but. Anyway, so that's done. It's to Andrew, right?
Yes.
This is the same deal, or this is just actions in a stock run now.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And so if I go for 4 companies, you mentioned 110 as a target thing, which I could do with bid power of 480, right? So. Yeah, so let me think about. So it would look to me from what you mentioned earlier, Kyle, about different prime starting locations. Does it make sense to do one of the New Yorks as a second location, and if so, should it be southern or northern?
Yes, both New Yorks are good. So South New York is normally a little bit better because ideally you want South New York to connect to Baltimore, North New York to connect to Boston, and Boston has more track lays they have to pay for in between it.
Got it.
But on the other hand, the North New York company can normally get the Boston token pretty easily, and you want to get tokens in the B cities, whereas the South New York
one's all right.
A competition for Baltimore. Right, someone's probably going to start in Philly, and probably the Philly company is going to want to cut you off and or loop around and steal the Baltimore token from you.
Got it. Okay, yeah. Well, that's good to know.
Baltimore goes to 2 in green. Okay.
So I think let's try doing North New York, and I'll put up a. Let's put one of the ones of New York its names. Let's say New York, Susquehanna, and Western, and I guess just throw it generally on the table here for now. And let's do that at 120.
I will say 125.
Sorry, I was playing with tiles. Where are you putting the token?
North New York.
Okay. I'll pass on that.
130.
I have no intuitive sense for what things are worth in 3-player. You can have it for 130.
Okay. So move that over here, and sorry, remind me, how much of that do I take out of my cash?
So
you can pick that. You pick some to put in, and you make up the difference in cash.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we don't want bridge. We don't want coal mine. So I'll throw in the train station there and make up 50 in cash. Is that reasonable, or am I doing something stupid?
Yeah. So train station in one of the New Yorks, I think, is good because you can see that, at least in yellow, New York only has one exit. In green, it only has two. So you're kind of limited on how many trains you can run. So you really want your New York company to get another token somewhere.
That makes sense.
Do the two shares have one token, like their home token, and that's it?
Yes.
I noticed you put another of these tokens back on here. Is that?
So that's the thing with this mod is if you go up to the top left corner where the presidencies are, the home token is on the president cert.
Oh, I spent it from the thing.
Yeah.
And do they? Oh, thank you. You gave me my presidency.
Oh yeah. So I need to throw that. So the home token, it's on the president's. Did I grab
I
that
already put it.
Oh, you did. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I missed that. Thanks.
But yes, if you just hover over the cert and press 1, it will go into your hand.
Got it.
But I'll give it to you. You want your certs in your hand so that they pay you. The mod will pay you based on shares in your hand.
Got it. Yeah, sorry, this is my first time with 18xx on TTS.
Yeah.
I should play dog games.
No worries at all. There's also a lot of things with 17 on TTS to get used to.
It's probably an easier learning experience for anyone following along. At least for me, it is to be able to see it. So.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was just going to look at. Where did you get that stock value token from? It's down here. Got it. Sorry, I didn't see that.
I see.
Yeah. I was looking for that. Couldn't find it.
So it is to me now. I'll put up South New York. Oh, that's not the right token. I'll put up South New York for 100. I'm not going to win it for 100, but just see how much you guys are willing to pay. Maybe I win it for 100. I probably shouldn't.
Okay, so I have 100 in cash. I've got these two, which are definitely going in something. I mean, I'll go 100 and you bid 100 for. Wait, you bid 100. So if you get it, then you do one loan essentially. You can't take two loans.
Yes.
Okay. Seems like a trap. 110.
Yeah. I don't know. You kind of just stuck it with me for 100 and seen what trouble I was in.
Yeah. I don't know.
So if you get it for 100, you just put in 100 cash and take no loans. You only buy one train. And if you're running one train out of New York but have no loans, that's a pretty good deal.
Okay.
All right. So you said 110. I'll say 120.
I'm actually kind of relieved. All right. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing.
I will say 125.
I'll pass.
Yeah, I'll pass.
I don't know if I wanted to win that, actually. I probably did. South New York's good. I should be happy with it.
Andrew, you got something heavy on your desk you banging around?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Okay.
My apologies.
No problem. New York, Ontario, Western.
And 125 puts it at 60.
Okay. So this is me again?
Yes.
Is there a Pittsburgh company? Yes. Pittsburgh and Lake Erie. Isn't there another Pittsburgh?
There's also the Pittsburgh Shawmut.
In Northern. Sure, I like that. Let's do this because I know I want to have something in Pittsburgh. I know I'm taking it and it's not mine yet, but I will put that up. What does that thing look like? Oh, that is what it looks like. This. You're supposed to take it from up here. Sorry, everyone's getting seasick. Watching my screen go around. That's going to go in Pittsburgh. And we're going to put that up for, well, so this is going to have in my mind, the major coal. The mountain is 130. So if I bid 130, it's a nice 65 number. I want this to be ideally less than 80. So 130.
All right. Yeah, I think that's a pass for me.
Actually, can I just? Oh no, I'll be able to take loan cash. Okay.
Also, you'll get paid by the mountain engineers on the coal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking I wanted to have a little cash in that company for the rivers and stuff if I'm trying to get to Cleveland. But yes. Okay.
I will also pass.
130. Okay. So that you already gave me the share. The stock value market one is you already got it at 65. I pay. There's my money. I don't pay anything. I just take these two and put them in there.
Yep.
Cool. So it's to Andrew.
Seeded Pittsburgh. All right. So I think Charleston's a reasonable one to do next, and let's do that at. Let's do that at 120, and let's take the. I don't see a particular Charleston thing, so we'll just go with the House Tonic, really.
Oh, I didn't put anything in my New York company. I need to actually do that. 90 and I'm too used to 18xx.games, or it does it for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I need to correct that for mine too, I think. So for my New York, so it got private in, and then I paid 30. Is that right? So it should have 110. Or no, we went higher than that.
For the New York, you end up at 130.
Oh, 130. Okay.
Yeah, because it's divided by 2 is 65.
That's right. Okay. Oh, and hang on, that's so it's just take money from the bank. There.
It only gets $50.
Oh, it gets okay.
Because you are putting in,
Yeah, that's right, because it's private. All right, so I need to spend 80. Okay. All right. So so Housatonic with a station in Charleston for 120, and its station was the thing up here.
Andrew, you're not from the Northeast?
No, sorry.
Housatonic.
Housatonic. Okay. Where is that? I don't know that one.
I know it runs through Connecticut. I grew up there, so.
All right.
It's the name of a river.
And you said 120 for that?
120, yeah.
That's funny. It's one of the rare instances where I actually know like the weird pronunciation of a thing because I live there. Most of the time, I'm completely oblivious. So this is on Kyle now?
I will say, yeah. I'm just thinking. I'm definitely going to bid on this. I'm just deciding between 125 and 130. And I will go. I'll go 130
On what are we bidding?
on Charleston.
Oh, okay. Right. You're going 130. So my remaining money is a $60 plus $100 cash. It seems like I should be able to take that. Should I guess here, is there a reason why I want to take that in Charleston over like taking a Boston, like starting a Boston company or something?
I think you actively do not want Charleston, right? Because you don't have a bridge and we both do. So if one of us gets Charleston, it will get a bridge token, which makes your Pittsburgh company better.
Okay.
Also,
Makes
you're
sense.
going to have coal, right? Your coal is all used up by Pittsburgh going to Charleston and then to Baltimore, probably.
Yep.
So you don't have coal to go from Charleston to Atlanta. So with no bridge and no coal, Charleston's just not a very good city.
Okay.
So it's sort of putting a lot of money on a bad city that also makes your other company worse.
Okay. And now remind me, the coal, it doesn't add a stop, but it just increases anything that goes through it.
Yes.
So I would go like scroll down like you did this, I think.
No. So you'd have coal here and here going to Charleston.
Oh, and then one,
here down to Baltimore.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
One of the weird edge case rules in 17 that everyone always forgets is that coal has to be going either into or out of a city.
Oh.
So like if you put this tile like this, it cannot have coal on it.
Because there's no city abutting.
There's no adjacent.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'll pass then. Thanks for making my life easier.
All right,
That's helpful though.
I'll go to 140.
It is yours for 140.
Okay. See if that's a mistake or not. All right. So I'm going to put both the coal mine and the bridge company in there, and then spend $40 cash. Does that seem reasonable, or am I missing something?
Surface level it does. I think it might be limiting you to a 3 company start, but maybe that's okay.
Right.
I think Charleston's going to be really good. You're set up well for it, right? You have 2 coal to go from Charleston to Atlanta, and Pittsburgh has 2 coal to go from Charleston to Pittsburgh. So like, Charleston's going to be an amazing company, so it might be worth going to only 3 companies to get it.
Got it.
That's why I was bidding it up so much, even though I only have a minor coal, is just because Pittsburgh has coal in it, and when Pittsburgh has coal in it, Charleston becomes better.
That makes sense. All right, yeah, so I will do that. So the coal mine, that goes over there. I spend $40 from here. Spend money, and then this gets in money of 70. Because I haven't.
If you spent 40, it should get 40.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry, I was confused on that. Okay, so you put something up then.
And you put up Charleston, so now it is to me.
Yes.
Oh,
and I need the stock total. This, and that's at 70 with it being at 140, right?
Yes. So I will put up a Cleveland. Don't especially care what company. I will put the Beltway of Chicago into Cleveland. And I will start the bidding at 110.
So I owning this and this, like you said, I probably want to be running a lot of trains out of Pittsburgh. Would it make so I was kind of eyeing Boston before because I know it's a high value city, and I don't really want this coming out this way. But would it make sense for me to wait and try and get something here and have that build into this and kind of make this thing's life easier, or to get a higher value city?
So both Clevelands are connected to both of these exits.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
this Cleveland can still build this tile over here. The risky thing with Boston is it is almost always better for North New York to also build to Boston. But if North New York just decides to go to Albany instead, then the Boston company is just bad. So it's somewhat risky to start Boston if you don't have North New York.
Got it.
But yeah, I think Boston or Cleveland are your better choices.
So
and I don't think it really matters if you take Cleveland now or if you take it later.
Yeah. Okay. So you bid 110 for it for the Beltway. I have a decent amount of money, but not enough to start two more. Or do I? 60? No, I don't. So should I just empty all my money into that company, or just go for like 110-ish or you bid 110, right? So a little higher, and then try and save some cash for later.
So most of the time, money in companies is better than money in hands.
Yeah.
It is hard to put money into companies. It is easy to get money back out of companies once it's in, typically.
Okay.
But the one reason why you might want to hold on to some cash is if companies grow up in the M&A round for the very first one, and you have some cash, then you can buy a share. It's like if you're planning on converting to a very early 5 share, maybe you want to hold on to some money to be able to buy that. If that's not your plan, I would normally just put all of my cash in the company.
Okay. I don't have any plans. Let's be clear. But yeah, okay. So if I have 160 and you bid open at 110, I'll bid 160. Or unless is that a bad, what? That's 50, 80. That's 80. Sure. 160.
All right, I'll pass.
I will also pass.
All right. Beltway is it still up here? That's it, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Beltway. There's my 3 companies. You already did that. The share is up here. Is it? Yes. Okay. And then I have to spend my money. $100. Whoops. No. Spend. I wish you could just say spend to that. I guess that would be too complicated.
Yeah. GTS scripting only does so much.
Yeah. And then that's also going to get this. 160. Great. I am done and I have no money left. So I pass.
All right.
So the one thing you can do is you can take loans in the stock round as well.
Oh, okay.
This would just be to change operating order. Typically, it doesn't help you very much change operating order with other people's companies, because if you care, they care, and they can also just take a loan right after you do. But if you want to rearrange the order of your own companies, then you would take loans.
Right. And so
I don't think you care.
So Pittsburgh is below my other 2, which I think you suggested that I would like that situation.
Yes.
Because these guys can link up and have more of a complete infrastructure for Pittsburgh to run its trains when it runs.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll pass then. And I guess, does that mean I get Brio?
No, it's Lola, as Derailed would say.
Okay.
Left of last action.
All right. Lola is an excellent contribution from them. I don't know how we got by without it before. To Andrew.
All right. Yeah, so to me, and so based on what you were saying, Kyle, it makes sense to try and put all my money into something. And it's also because I've got North New York, I think Boston's a good fit for me. So I'll put something up in Boston at 210 and say, where is that? I think here looks good for Boston. Yeah, Boston and Albany. So Boston and Albany at 210.
And it is
Unless that's really dumb.
No, that's probably what I would do in your situation.
Okay.
Right. So the other thing is, like, if you don't start Boston, maybe no one starts Boston, and New York doesn't want to lay all these tiles on there.
Right.
That's
Self, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you have the other guy, so you have the North New York company.
Yes. Yeah.
The one thing to think about is you maybe want to actually put a little less money in just so you can run later, because as is, so the monetary optimal way to do it is first North New York lays this tile, then Boston lays this tile, North New York lays one tile to connect them, and then Boston lays this tile to make its second connection. So you can run two trains out of Boston, one out of North New York. With this operating order, that's not going to quite work out. Right, Boston's running first.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you have the highest valued company, which means you'll probably get 2 pluses, and 2 pluses are really good. But it means you're going to have to double A with one of your companies, which costs you an extra $20. So it's pros and cons.
Is double laying not common because of that?
It's reasonably common, but it is something to be wary of.
Okay. It's not, you don't automatically always double A in the early game.
No, because $20 it can make a big difference.
Yeah.
The number of times we'll end up being like $5 short of paying off a loan, and then you pay an extra $30 of interest on that loan the next turn.
Right.
Then maybe another 30 the turn after that.
Yep. Yeah, it's like something in like 61 and 67. Like the double A's very often don't make sense because that game you don't have a lot of track delay and you want money for trains. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate the insight there on why you wouldn't necessarily do it. I think it probably makes the most sense for me to still do a tie because I think I'm hurting myself too much the other way if I don't, in terms of just my sitting around nodding companies. But yeah, so I think I'll go with the 210 then. Do you want to bid it up for you?
No, it's yours.
All right.
I'm already giving you your share.
Chesner, what did you mean by person going for Cleveland wants both tokens there?
So I put this.
Chesner.
So it's often nice if you have double Cleveland because then your companies are obviously going to be working together. Right? If one person has one Cleveland and a different person has the other Cleveland, then you're sort of relying on another person to help play track with you. I think it's fine to split up Cleveland between 2 people. Yeah, there's some minor riskiness there.
Okay.
That's probably what they're talking about.
I likely won't see that risk realized just due to the length of the stream, but
and now it is apparently the Kyle show to put up companies.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, it is.
To the Chicago off board, Chesner. He's suggesting if you open both of them, you can just lay west to Chicago.
Yeah, that is something that I used to think was good. I no longer do. I think it's too expensive to be worth it, and it's better just go to Cincinnati if Cincinnati cooperates. And spoiler alert, Cincinnati is going to cooperate because I'm about to start 3 companies, and it's going to be Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Philadelphia. And my Cincinnati and Cleveland companies are going to work together. Your Pittsburgh and Cleveland companies are going to work together. We'll both run 2 trains out of Cleveland. So I guess what I want to have happen first is a Cleveland company. So I will go Cleveland, 120. And I will put... I'll put Archinatica in Cleveland. I don't think that makes sense, but I'm just sort of grabbing companies.
Sorry, I'm rearranging for the stream, Andrew. I don't usually touch other people's virtual assets.
No, absolutely. Yeah, sorry. They're not.
Well, I do actually, but they get annoyed at me.
I'm
helping.
just sort of grabbing. Actually, do I want...
So that one's going to be this guy.
I'll just stick with 120.
So you have 240 plus an 80 and a 30. So you're doing 120 cash straight.
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm going to do that as a 125 if that is okay.
Yeah, of course it is.
The
level of like competition is on the floor. It's a like mechanical exercise that I'm like interested to see how this comes together now that we've built this.
Right.
I mean, funny, we're an hour into the stream here and we're like, to me, what feels like we're about to start playing. Like,
yeah,
I know that this is part of the game, but so much of this relies on strategy that I have no concept of that. It's like, I don't know. Okay, sure. This seems like I have a plan or loose plan, but it's all based on what you said and what I've heard about at least like Pittsburgh, Charleston and stuff and the coal companies. And like as a new player, I wouldn't have even known if I didn't know the notoriety of the Pittsburgh steel mill. I wouldn't even know it was good.
Yes. And then I am assuming you both pass.
Yep.
I'm not taking loans.
Yes. Yeah.
And then my next company is going to be the best in Cincinnati. And that will be
I'll get it for
I
you.
believe 115.
If I can find it. You found it first.
So this is going to have the Union Bridge. And then a bit of 115 would put 35 cash in it. I think it only needs 30. So I'm going to say a bit of one. No, I'll put in the 35.
It needs 30 to lay the rivers.
It's going to have to double lay.
Double lay. Okay.
Because it has a bridge in it, the rivers are free to lay. So it's going to need to take 2 loans, buy 2 trains, ideally, unless you guys drive up interest on me, which is $10 and then $20 for a double lay. If interest goes up, I'll change my plans a little bit.
Okay. Mike, the stakes have never been lower.
And then I will start the J at 110 in Philadelphia.
So according to you, we're one company light here because of this this monster right here.
And I was just looking. I think I missed taking the cert for one of my companies. Is that the one? Is that the one just right of Grand Trunk Western?
Boston and Albany.
HRC.
Houston. Yeah, take that one.
You take that one. Okay. There we go. Sorry. Oh yeah.
I love the 3D rules standing up, towering over the table.
Yeah. You're saying that's not how you normally play these games?
Yeah, I mean, I've got my copy standing up next to me right here, but I figured not everyone does that. See? There it is.
Okay. These companies need tokens. I started the best first, and then I started the J. This is fairly reasonable because we started 10 companies and there are 10 decent starting spots. Detroit and Albany are not terrible, but they're not really good either. So I think starting 10 companies makes some sense, right? We cover all of the good spots. It's not like, so if one of you wanted to do 4 companies instead, like your last company would not be a very good one,
Not in a
probably.
good spot. Yeah.
Yeah, especially since he had NYC and you have some costs to cover with the water. So I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we finish up the stock round and I get prio because
Yes.
Kyle was last, so I get a little
About
elephant
the
guy.
last thing. Yeah.
Oh, we could have randomized this thing. Oh, and it even says the name. Interesting. That's clever. Anyway, we're operating, starting. So first operating order, what's our, do we go up from the bottom?
No, down from the top.
Okay. So what were you saying that this would probably get plus trains? Why is that?
So in OR1A,
Yes.
we're only buying 2s. There's an infinite number of 2 trains. In 1B, at the end of 1A, all the 2s get exported, and we start off with 2 pluses.
Yep.
In general, 2 pluses are considered very good trains. 4s are considered very good trains. 5s are very good trains. 3s are normally bad.
Interesting.
This does vary from game to game, of course. There are games when 4s rust faster than normal. There are games where 3s last a lot longer than normal. For a 4 or 5 player game, normally your goal is to buy enough 3s that you can get by, and then buy 2 4s into 5.
Got it.
And 2 pluses help you not buy 3s so that you have more money for 4s.
Right. And 2 pluses are just, they're 1846 2s where you get to run them one more time after a rust, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And unlike 1846 2s, though, they do not actually rust if we break an extra rank too soon.
Okay. So like in that game, if you hit gray, before you run them, then you're screwed. In this game, it stays.
Yep. And there has been one game that I have been in where someone ran a 2 plus after all the 3s had rusted.
That's funny.
So
Okay.
you bought through all the 4s, all the 5s, and a 6 in the same over.
So yeah, so the Boston and Albany. So when does taking loans actually happen? I need to refresh.
Pretty much whenever you want.
Okay, so it's not. Yeah, it's not. All right. So and you mentioned the normal way to do this would be New York lays 1, Boston lays 1, New York lays 1/3. That's not going to happen because the operating order. Does it make sense to go out and do the 2 with Boston now on those 2 water tiles? Or should
I guess it depends on who do you want to spend the extra money. Right, Boston already has 2 tracks that it's paying for.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe you want New York to do the double lanes.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't looked too close at how your money's distributed to see if that makes sense or not.
Yeah. Boston has more money, but yeah, absolutely, there are more things that it needs to.
And the major mail to feed it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess he'll lay 1 then and lay the tight curve back towards something.
Grab the bag, not the tile.
Yeah.
Oh, the bag. Okay.
That is the indicator of what's in there, but they're locked.
Got it.
It's so interesting in this game that all tiles are infinite.
And how do you rotate it?
With Q or E.
Yeah.
Got it.
And you want your rotation degrees on 30, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that cost me $20, correct?
Yep.
So I will put in that. Okay. And then train. So
you're taking loans here, right?
yeah. I presume you do that, right?
Yes.
To buy a train. Otherwise you have to contribute money which you don't have.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, can you walk me? So how? So, what do I do in order to take I grab the loan. Okay.
So typically you grab 2 loans. Oh.
And buy two trains.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. You'll have 2 routes to run. All right, so I grab the 2 loans. I put in $200.
So you don't really have to bother with the putting.
Yeah, I don't have to put in. Sure.
Yeah, you're then just going to grab. Here, I will.
And
help you out some here.
Yeah, sorry. Thanks. Yeah, I was looking for the trains.
It does help a lot to keep the loans
on the spot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the big advantages of TTS over 10xx.games is just being able to glance at someone's charters and count loans.
See how many loans.
Right. You can't take any more loans because you're a 2-share company. Yeah.
Yes.
And then you do have to pay interest on those loans.
Yes, and the interest is
$5.
$5. Okay, so all right. So spend 10.
It's whatever's uncovered. Hey, what's the square cube for up here for the loan market?
That tracks what interest is.
Oh, so we'll move it over when it's this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because interest also only changes at the start of the operating round.
Okay.
So even if we take a whole bunch of loans during the operating round, the companies that run later aren't screwed having to pay higher
immediately. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. So then it's done, right?
Yes. So it
falls back.
So twice for 2 loans and once for
not running.
I normally keep them face up because it's important to see where people's companies are when planning for your future turns.
Okay.
Leave them underneath the stock market instead.
Got it.
That's just a personal preference thing, though.
Sure. No, that makes sense. So
next up, Alton
is me, right? That's this guy. So I got to lay some river. Definitely laying through that one. This has 120 in treasury. Does it need no connectivity requirement? And does it count as the tile lay?
Yes.
Okay. So I could do a double or something if I needed to up. And I probably want to lay that first. So Pittsburgh will have the tile and doesn't need to lay it. And actually it can't lay it, right?
Right.
Okay, so I definitely
the tile.
Yeah, so I definitely am doing that. There's the Pittsburgh tile. We probably want it in that orientation, I guess.
That
no.
is the standard orientation.
What's that?
The way you had it before is standard.
This way?
Yes, because that gives you a route to Cleveland, a route to Charleston, and a route to Baltimore.
Right. And if I do it this way, then that's fine, but then I can't do both of these. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So it'll lay that, and I think it'll also do this. Is it double a bad idea? It's got $120.
It's probably fine. I guess a question you need to ask is, do you want to run 2 trains or only 1? So on Pittsburgh's turn, it can help complete this route between Pittsburgh, Baltimore. And then you can just single lay to run the 1 train between them, but then you won't have this other route built. So if you want to run 2 trains, I think you have to double lay.
Double lay in this direction.
Either direction.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, 2 trains. Let's go for broke, I guess. That's going to cost me 20. And then I'm okay.
It's going to cost you 40. 20 for the double tile lay.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yep. Okay.
And something to note is I control both of these two companies.
Yeah.
So if you are playing against like sane normal people, you maybe don't want to do the move you just did, because I probably want to connect my companies together, and then you're cut off. So you just spent $40 for track that's not useful.
Yeah.
But I will just tell you now that my Self New York company is just going to lay this tile connecting to you, and I'm going to cut off my other company because I think it's fun.
All right. That sounds good to me. So it did that. It's going to take out 2 loans as well. Unless there's a reason to not take out 2 loans and not, well, I just laid track for 2 trains. So I want 2 trains. So I want to take the 2 loans, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Take those 2. It's going to spend $200. It just got 200. So I guess we don't need to exchange that money, right? 2 loans equals 2 trains. It does.
Do you have to pay interest on those loans?
Okay. Immediately. Right.
Yeah.
So that is $10. We spend money. This then falls back 1, 2 for the loans and 1 more, or not operating, not paying. Okay. And then it's my other guy, the belt. The belt does. Okay. It's gonna lay towards Pittsburgh. It kills me that it's a B and not a P. I know it's the same thing as these B's, but anyway, it's 1830. Yeah. I'll blame 1830.
Yeah, because in 1830 it was only Baltimore and Boston.
Yeah. Right.
Detroit also does not start with a B, actually.
Thank you, Kyle. That tickles me.
Well, the one that's killing me is looking at their spelling of Cincinnati.
Well, this is the Carthaginian redraw. So
yeah.
Cincinnati is not official. It's not canon. So I trying to think about this as far as like double A's and all that stuff. I don't know that I need to double A this, because by the time it has a train, it'll do the connection. Yeah. That sounds like what I'm going to do.
You might have to double A next turn, but you definitely don't have to double A this turn.
I might have to double A next turn to get a second.
I'm going to lay 1 tile here pointing towards Cincinnati, and then you'll still have these 2 tiles both empty.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll leave this for now, I guess. Let's not press too hard. So that's just... So the first one doesn't cost, but the second does cost 20?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, Chasner. It is technically not a Carthaginian canon redraw. It is in their style. Okay, so good call. So I do that. That doesn't cost because it's a single tile. It does take 2 more. So now we're getting into loan times, but that's going to happen, right? We're going to be in 10 at least, if not 15 for interest, right? So I might as well keep it. See, this one's definitely going to have 1 next time, and yeah, if you do what you say you're going to do, then I'll have 2. So I'll take 2 and buy 2.
Yeah, I think interest in 1B is normally 15 with conservative people, 20 with more sane people, and if you play with too many people who all live in Seattle, then sometimes it's like 30, 35.
In 1B, wow. Okay, so this thing has to do its 1, 2, 3, goes underneath, and I think it's done.
All right, so then that's me with, you said Housatonic?
Oh, sorry. Do we do like pay privates? Do the mail contract stuff go into the companies?
The mail contracts pay companies that have trains.
Right.
So that
has trains. 1 or more trains. Okay. Interesting.
Train station doesn't pay.
Nothing else.
None of this stuff pays, yeah.
Funny.
So yes. But for the train station company, we should have one of your tokens flip. to let us know that
Okay.
this is available.
Okay. So let me.
I just did it for you.
Oh, you did. Oh, got it. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. You know,
right, yes.
I'll follow Chasner's guidance and do the AA here as well, because this game's going to be short anyway, so what do I care? That was this one, so I'll have to pay another 20, 30 out of that one. Okay. Oh, and the interest, so 40. Almost cheated.
Did you already pay interest or no?
I just did.
Okay.
For the first time. The BRC, if I open the chat, BRC hasn't paid anything yet, so.
Okay. All right. So I run my one out of Charleston then. And so my thought was, obviously, it lays its home tile. It makes sense to point it at the coal in both directions, I think, right? So that.
So I think you want a tight there, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because you want both of these to be coal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You don't want. It doesn't make sense to try and connect it up to Pittsburgh.
Oh, so what I was suggesting, and what you are doing is also perfectly viable if you want to do that, and it saves you a track lay. But if you lay it like this, then
I see. You put coal there and there. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
I mean, I'm laying coal down at Charleston.
Yeah. And do I have got 2 coals in that?
Yes, and you have 2 coals in the company.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it that way then. No, thanks. I hadn't considered that angle.
I like the coal private. I'm surprised more games haven't
that is
featured
an interesting thing. Yeah.
Featured them.
And so for this, I guess it doesn't. Should I do the? I shouldn't do a double lay now, because I could double lay and get to Atlanta next time. And presuming he builds the Charleston track, then I have 2 routes. But or does it make more sense to double lay now and then double lay if you need to on the second run?
I think it might make sense. It depends. If you think that you might have to double lay on them both times, then I guess it's better to be safe, especially if you don't have to take an extra loan for it.
Yeah.
Looks like you don't.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Let's do that. Yeah, because I don't know exactly what he's going to do with that Pittsburgh company. He might go to Baltimore instead. So, all right. So then that's spend $20 for the lay.
The other thing is, if you put a tile connecting to Pittsburgh that doesn't have coal, then that route's just going to be a little bit worse for the entire rest of the game. So if you're worried that that's not going to be completed before you run next time, maybe you just only buy 1 train.
Okay, interesting.
Sounds crazy.
All right. So it spends 20 for HRC, spends 20 for the extra lay, and so from what you're saying, would your second lay be towards Pittsburgh, or would it be towards Atlanta?
Towards Atlanta.
Towards Atlanta. Okay. So that's this.
You want to guarantee at least 1 run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing with going to Atlanta is, if you have a route from Charleston to Atlanta, that helps you. If you have a route from Charleston to Pittsburgh, that helps you.
Helps him.
And it helps Pittsburgh. You don't want Pittsburgh's good enough without getting too much extra help.
Got it. That makes sense. So yeah, thanks. Yeah, so that coal token's on there. I take 2 loans and buy 2 trains.
You're doing a single lay?
No, I did a double because I had to do
the
home tile.
Sorry, yeah.
So 2 loans go there, and then I take 1, 2. Okay, and then do the fallback.
Chat is popping. We have 14 people.
Wow.
All right, and and pay interest on those. So that's $10 still, correct?
So you've already you just paid the $20 for double link, yeah.
I paid the 20 for So
another 10 for
yeah.
interest.
Okay. So I believe that company's done, and then it's on to my North New York one. Right. So its first one is obvious. It's the curve towards Boston. And so then it's a question of, I guess it makes sense for it to spend and do that, and then Boston just does one. Let me see, what's the money situation? This company doesn't. This company's got. So all right, so I'll spend $20 for the second leg and connect up that track.
Did I just date myself, Red Eye? Pop and chat.
And now, Kyle, so my thought is this is a company that takes just one train now, right? Because it's only got the one route. Okay.
Yes.
So one loan, one train. And so one loan, one train, and pay $5 interest. Thanks very much for being so patient with us on this. I'm definitely just starting to figure it out.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to grok than doing it async on Doc Games for your first play. That's a bad idea. I should have just waited that. But it did break down at least like a couple of the rules got drilled into my head as they bit me later. It's like, wait, why did that happen? Go learn some rules. So I don't know. Just got started.
So I believe it's you with the Shamet now.
Okay, so this I think definitely wants to go to the coal route, and not to Baltimore. Lucky you, because
I appreciate it.
It's private. It's not selfless, because it's going to earn money for laying the mountains, and that route is going to be more lucrative than the other one because of the coal. Okay, so
also real quick, Housatonic has a bridge token. You maybe want to put that out. I guess.
Oh yes,
but because you haven't run trains on it yet.
Yes, thank you. That does sound. So, and I just put that on its.
On the tile.
On the tile. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so those two are each going to get. Whoops. Each get one of those, and so what's the deal with this guy earns 20 for owning public company every time it lays a yellow tile on a mountain hex. Must first pay applicable fee. So I don't have to pay it because of the coal mine. So I just get $40 for laying those. Or sorry, I get 40, but I double laid, so minus 20, so I get $20.
Yes.
Okay. I will take. Were you going to say something, Kyle?
Yeah. I was just going to help you along with that math, but you got there.
Okay.
But now I do have something to point out, which is you can count there's 1, 2, 3 tiles between Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And Baltimore is running first, and it has 2 trains in it. It cannot AAA to make this connection. So
I could.
But it is running very early, so it can buy 2 pluses. So one thing you can do is it is actually pretty standard in a 4-player game to do a 2-company start with just Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And what you do in that case is Pittsburgh buys down a train from Baltimore. Pittsburgh buys down a train from Baltimore. And then Baltimore has more money to buy more 2 pluses, and Pittsburgh will be able to run the train because it will have a route for it by then.
Got it. My Pittsburgh is kind of poor, but it would be able to buy. Is this the thing that I could possibly look at exploring here? It doesn't look like it. I don't know. I'll have money to buy something over from this. So by pointing that out, are you suggesting that instead of doing these double tile lays, I do one in this direction, not whatever, towards that way?
Yeah. So if you do this, it means your Baltimore company can run more trains. But also because Housatonic has 2 trains, it means he's motivated to make this tile bad. So that's going to hurt you a little bit for the rest of the game. So, I mean, like everything with 17th, there's going to be a whole bunch of pros and cons. And it's going to be more complicated than just you should do this.
Yep. Sorry, but Housatonic has 2, so why would they make it bad? Wouldn't they want it good?
Because they're going to be running before you and they want to run their train. Right? It is more important.
Oh, they don't have they don't have a coal. I
have one coal. I don't have.
He would want it to go here. That makes sense. Thank you.
So, but your Pittsburgh company, if you do put this coal back over here, and I can rotate it in a bit, then it can take 2 loans, pay $10 in interest, buy 2 trains, and then it can buy down another train from Baltimore for $10. The $10 it has left. If Baltimore lays this tile on its next turn, then Pittsburgh, with money from Mountain Engineers, can double lay these, and then you can run 3 trains out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So it makes your Baltimore company worse, but it makes your Pittsburgh company better.
I guess Sorry?
Yeah. That's just a reasonably common thing, is if you have the Pittsburgh private, just like kinking your other company some and just being like, my Pittsburgh company is going to be so good that I will win the game off of Pittsburgh being amazing.
Yeah. All right. I'll try that. I like concentrating on one thing generally. So I'll do what I originally had set out to do. This one is going to be sad. I probably should have just done this that way, but I didn't. So anyway, this guy runs the 2. So it actually can run a train now. Hey, no, this is its first time running. Can't run a train. We're still on the first OR set. So two loans. Let's do it. Oh boy, that interest is starting to look scary. So two trains. They are there. Oops. And does the thing where it goes 1, 2, and falls back. Okay. Who's this guy? South New York.
South New York is going to, like I said, I'm going to cut off my own company. And I'm going to take 1 loan and buy 1 train. Whoop. Where did that come from?
Probably me.
My cursor is grabbing things not where I'm pointing.
Oh, interesting.
South New York takes a loan. Buys a train. I'm just going to put a bunch of 2s into my hand because I'm going to be buying a bunch of them soon.
I'll be back in 1 second. Just grab some water.
That's going to spend $5 in interest. And it's going to fall back twice. Next up is the belt, which is going to lay this tile.
The Attica Railroad, right? Arcade.
Oh, Attica. Yeah, Attica. Sorry.
Yep.
It's right next to the belt.
Yeah, I know. I can switch the tokens if you want. This is more thematic there.
They can take 1 loan and buy 2 trains because it has over $100 cash in it. So that's a big reason why I was saying like cash is better than privates.
Yeah.
Because I have 1 less loan per train now than other companies do.
Yep.
Yeah, and that falls back twice. Next up is the Bessemer in Cincinnati, which is going to lay its home. It's going to lay it like this. And it's going to take 2 loans and buy 2 trains, fall back 3 times. And it spends $10 in interest. And it also puts a bridge out, and it is important to me that the bridge token goes out now because the Cleveland companies are going to be hitting this before it runs again.
So the bridge, I don't have one, and I realize I've forgotten what they do. What do they do?
They just bump the value of a city by $10, but they can only be placed in Charleston, Cincinnati, or Louisville.
Okay.
They also mean that you don't have to pay the $10 river cost for building through these rivers. J, the poor company that got cut off, lays its home, and then it also takes 2 loans and buys 2 trains.
So did you use the on any river hex without paying the fee? Okay. So they're just immune to paying river fees at all ever?
Yes.
Okay. And the J did that. Okay.
Yep. And it takes 2 loans, buys 2 trains.
So do you have a sneaky plan with the J? What is... You're just going to the... Oh, well, no, I'm going to come down here. So I was thinking maybe you...
So the sneaky plan is my favorite play style for 4-player games. So I'm assuming the same thing should work in 3-player. Which is run a bunch of companies at the very bottom of the order. And one of my earlier companies will buy a 3 train. So I'm going to grow up 3 of my companies in the M&A round. And the idea is if you guys duck 2 pluses, the first one buys a bunch of 2 pluses. The next one buys a 3. And then green will be in green before the J runs. And then the J double lays into Baltimore because it upgrades Baltimore and opens up a token slot. And then J tokens Baltimore and runs out of Baltimore instead of out of Philly.
Okay.
Got it.
Which is why I was okay with cutting it off, because if Jay's running out of Baltimore, then running from Baltimore to Pittsburgh and Baltimore to South New York
It's pretty good.
It really runs. But this does involve me growing up a whole bunch of companies, which means people can buy my shares if they're too good. It also means that I'm going to have a whole bunch of loans.
Yep.
So it's sort of like a high risk, high reward type play that I like to do.
Chat, here's not Dave, and chat is asking if he, I don't know who specifically is paying their interest. Kyle, did you pay all your interests?
It says transferred 5 from NYOW, which is I only had 1 loan. Then 105 from AAR, which had 1 loan and 1 train.
You did the other 2. Yep.
From Blur and from Jay.
Yep.
So they have all paid interest.
Yep.
Pretty sure I got all mine. Scroll back.
My Pittsburgh's. Oh, did I do my Pittsburgh's interest?
You did not do Pittsburgh's interest. I think I may start taking my turn while you were still in the middle of yours.
Well, okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's no problem. Pittsburgh.
Because you also wanted to buy a train out from Alton Southern, right?
Yes, and I did, right. I went over to him from because he can't run the other one yet anyway. Yeah. Yep. So I do it for $10, I guess.
Yeah, all of mine paid.
Or do you just do it for $1?
Either way.
I'll do it.
I don't know how much it matters for this case.
Let's do 5. Okay.
Yeah. Um, and to address, I think it was Shazner's comment earlier about how I'm assuming I don't see chat, by the way, but you made a comment earlier about belt double laying. I'm assuming that was due to chat saying because if you double A and then I double A and then you double A, we can run to Chicago.
Yeah.
And Chicago is better than Cincinnati. But one, I was not going to cooperate that because I wanted to start a Cincinnati company. It was one of the better options for what was left.
Yep.
But the other thing is, for people in chat who are familiar, I think that going this way is actually better because it saves a double A, which saves you $20. And it in yellow runs for the same amount, right? Chicago in yellow is 30, and then Cincinnati with a bridge is also 30.
Yep.
In green, it only runs for 10 less, but it's a token spot that you can potentially get. And one of the big problems that Cleveland has is you can only run 2 trains out of Cleveland, right? If you have like Charleston or Cincinnati or something, you can run 4 trains out of it theoretically. If you have a B city, you can run 3 trains. So just connecting to spots that you can possibly get tokens in, I think is worth it, even at the slight cost of income.
Interesting. Okay. So that's all of the companies, yes?
Yes.
So we move these all up?
Yep. You got it.
And we're on, no, we weren't doing this, but that was the first. Now we're in an M&A.
Yes.
All right. Now this, I do not remember the structure here.
It's also just, it's top to bottom for first merging or converting. And then it's bottom to top for friendly sales.
Okay. So merging is, or converting is obviously going a 2 share from a 2 to a 5 share, right?
Yeah.
Merging is what? Similar?
Yeah, so you can convert a 2 share into a 5 share. You spend $50 for a token, and now you have more room for loans. The company gets 3 shares in its treasury. For future M&A rounds, people will be able to buy these shares during the M&A round. But for right now, none of us have any money, so we can't.
Yep.
Merging is you can merge 2 shares to a 5 share or 2 5 shares to a 10 share. You don't pay for any new tokens. You don't get any new tokens. You just combine the companies into one bigger company.
Do they need connectivity for that?
No connectivity requirements.
Okay.
If you do merge 2 shares, you add their stock prices together for your new stock price and round down. So it does lead to very expensive companies, which might be good, but they might just be very overpriced. It's just something to keep in mind.
Okay. And and we're not quite there yet, but as far as overpriced companies, that is where shorting comes in, right? I mean, essentially, I'm looking for where does shorting start to come into the picture. We've done a lot of operating, and we haven't done the financial stuff quite yet.
So shorting is going to be for overpriced companies. One thing is in 3-player, because we're all so rich, typically the guideline is you short the player, not the company. Because you can, if you have one really good company, one bad one, it's normally not too hard to switch them and make your good company bad and your bad company good. But if you have no good companies, then as a player, you are safe to short. And because 3-player, we all start with so much money, it means that short targets and weak players are probably not going to happen. And in general, shorts are normally a bad idea in SR2. You normally start seeing them in SR3 if companies are overvalued.
Okay. So we're going, you said top down and then bottom up?
Yes.
So the top is Andrew.
Boston and Albany, yeah. So my gut instinct is that it doesn't make sense to grow it up or merge it at this point. Am I missing something?
Yeah. So the reason to grow it up would be if you grow it up, you can take more loans, which means you can buy more 2+s, and 2+s are often good trains. I'm kind of motivated to say that because I really want you to be buying 2+s so that I can buy 3s.
Right. Yeah. How many? The
2s are gone, right?
4. So there's 4 2+s. Yeah. Okay. And so at the moment, it can't take any more loans, right? It's maxed at 2. So
Yes.
Everybody but your New York and a couple of Kyle's have max loans.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so that's a bit of a conundrum, I guess, because I feel like my normal 18x strategy would be not doing anything with this here, but I can see why it would make sense.
I guess before we get super started here, Kyle, if you look around, is there any like potential problem situations developing? Everything looks relatively healthy to me. Is that not true? Like,
the only potential problem I see is my J, where if I'm unable to break green, then my J just won't run its trains. But also, I think I'm okay with that because even if J doesn't run its trains, it means that you guys didn't buy any 2+, so it means that I'll get all the 2+.
yeah. Okay.
Right.
So maybe I'm missing out on some runs, but I still have 5 other trains that I'm running, so I'll be running a few less trains, but then I'll get a bunch of 2+ that you all skipped out on. So, but that is the biggest potential problem scenario. Everything else looks healthy and good to me.
What are the train limits?
4 for now. It goes down to 3 with the purchase of a 4, and it goes down to 2 with the purchase of a 6.
Does it matter if you were a 2, a 5, or a 10 share as far as train limits?
It does not matter.
Okay. So I could have one more in like Pittsburgh if I bought a 2+ there or something, but it can't run. Or sorry, it's my Pittsburgh company. I couldn't run it for ever, or unless I drop another token somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So pondering this a little further.
Shazner says friendly sale J. Smiley face. I don't quite get it yet, but
yeah. So if you have a company that you can't run, another option is to friendly sell it.
Oh, you just say who wants to buy this?
Yeah.
Right.
That's a part of the M&A round, right? So when we're first going from top to bottom for merging and converting, then afterwards we go from bottom to top, and you can choose to offer your company up. And then the minimum bid is going to be stock price times number of shares, and you get all of its assets. So if it has shares in its treasury, you will get money for those. You get all of its cash, all of its trains, you get its token.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Andrew, what do you think?
So how many companies do you normally see convert in this 1.1 M&A round, Kyle? Like, is it really rare to do it, or does it happen a bunch?
So it's very player count dependent, and like I said, I don't really play 3-player. In 5-player, I think it's pretty much only the first and maybe second company convert, and they convert to buy more 2+, and nobody else pretty much ever converts.
Got it.
In 4-player, typically the first 1 or 2 companies might convert to buy 2+, and then once somebody converts, it typically means that they're converting to try to break green, and then you often see a flood of people converting, because if someone breaks green, you want to run after them so that you can also run in green and get the benefit without having to do the work.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, that's
so
helpful.
So for example, I was considering my Alton and Southern as a convert so I could take some more loans because it's next and it only has 1 train and doesn't have a way to buy another. So it seems like a 2+ is a good proposition for it. Does that sound?
Yeah. I think like even if you can get 2+, because it will be able to run Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, South New York, and Baltimore, Philly. The Baltimore, Philly run's not as exciting, but it is still a decent run, right? And then between Baltimore and Pittsburgh, he'll have 2 different companies that are both running 3 2s out of them. That's going to be a lot of money.
All right. Yeah. So based on that, sure. Let's convert the Boston Albany to a 5 share. So what do I walk through to do that? So place the extra shares. Flip.
Yes. So for this mod, there's this small bag in the top right corner, which is 5 share certs and shares.
Oh, okay.
I will get them out for you.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I see it.
Someone else is searching the bag. Only one person can be in
My
it
bad.
at a time.
That was me.
I mean, alternatively, if you wanted to just get them out, but this is Boston and Albany that grew up.
Yes. Yeah.
So we grab out a pile of shorts and a pile of shares and another pile of shares. So this pile of 3 shares goes to your company, and our company owns 60% of itself.
Got it.
And then these shorts and shares are just going to be set off to the side and won't be used unless we start shorting your company.
Shorting it. Yeah. Okay.
That's what this whole area is for, to say that those are open shorts that people can take.
Okay.
The next thing you do is you can choose to take loans if you want.
And that would so doing that at the moment would just be for operating order. Is there,
Yes, or to drive interest up if you want interest to be higher.
Yeah, I do not, so I will not take loans.
And then you have to buy a token for $50.
Okay, that's fine. It's got 60, so I can do that.
So if you don't have the cash, you got to take a loan out to cover that.
Then you take, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Exciting.
Yeah, thanks for the help on figuring out. Made sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyle, you're being super helpful. It's great.
If either of you or anybody watching becomes an 1817 player because of this, I will be incredibly happy. Even if not, this is fun.
I mean, like Joe Leone just said, okay, this just made watching worth it. I understand now why some companies would want to convert in this first merger round. So, like, you know, it's definitely not the only piece of advice that's been useful so far. It's going to be helpful for people. So I am also converting. Oh, so wait. It's not actually ready to actually buy it. That's during operating rounds. It's going to get a chance to buy the trains.
Yes.
Yeah. 5, 3.
Where was this token? My TTS has a high ping, and I keep grabbing, and it just takes from the wrong spot.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where that
which token?
It was my company, so this should be here.
Okay. So I'm doing the same to the Alton, so then I'm going to drop the extra 3 shares in here. I pay $50. No, not $505. Spend the money. And I flip over 1, and that's it.
And
Hey, Garrick's here.
okay, and next up is the belt.
Did I do so? I just I said convert. I dropped the extra shares. I paid 50, and I flipped the token. That's the sum total.
Oh, yeah. There's also this button next to your thing that says 2 share. Click that. So that says 5 share.
Okay.
If you leave it saying 2 share, then all of your shares are going to pay 50%.
So
50% to your company and 100% to yourself.
Yeah.
Which is slightly too strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So does Belt also want to grow up?
Belt. I want to say no. Belt doesn't want to. It's got 2. It's going to have the 2 run. I don't want to help. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Houstonic.
I think it does not want.
Yeah. another thing to think about is having a really good 2-share, at least for the first third to half of the game, can be very good.
I can see that.
Right.
Yeah, you get a better percentage. So then New York, Susquehanna, and Western's next. It also does not want to grow up.
Kyle, was there a but to that? They're just like, a good 2-share is good.
Yeah, a good 2-share is just good.
Yeah.
Right. So you can control 100% of the capital, and whenever you can do that, it's great. Right. As soon as you become a 5-share, the real downside to 5 shares is that other people can buy your shares. And it's an incremental cap game, which means that people buying your shares is money not going into your company later for higher price shares you can sell. It's dividends that don't go into your company. It's just a way for people to attack your company.
Got it.
So we made it through.
So Shaman is also staying, I take it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it should want to do anything else, I don't think, right? It's got 3 2s. I control it all. Sounds good.
Yeah. And then W is going to be my 1 2-share company, but my other 3 are all going to grow up. So I should have been grabbing these while we were talking.
That's okay.
While I'm getting out the shares, if one of you would like to get out the tokens.
You get out tokens from somewhere? I just flipped one on my board.
Yeah. So on the stock chart, you can see that the companies that you two grew up are replaced with bigger tokens. Right underneath that, there's a bag that has tokens for 5 shares and 10 shares.
Yeah,
okay.
I can do some of that. So which one's not growing up?
The
W
is not growing.
Okay, all right.
Right. So the Arcade and Attica, the Bessemer, and the Elgin.
Okay, there's
Joliet and
Bessemer, Arcade, and Attica. What was the last one?
J.
J.
Yeah.
J. Yeah. Okay.
You just replace it, right?
Yes. And some of these are going to have to take some loans
to pay. Joe, I don't. Yeah, we may actually find a stopping point, stop, and then maybe do a part 2. We could actually just leave. We can save this TTS state and come back to it another night when we're free, and pick it up and see what stuff we get into in the next hour or 2 of gameplay. Because we're getting near the end of my available time tonight, so that's the nice part about TTS.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever works for me. I should be good to resume whenever you guys are.
Cool. We can do a multi-part series.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I realized I'm just committing your time for you, so.
Going through in order. So Arcane Attica did not have $50, so it has to take a loan.
So that's why it slides there.
Yes. So it takes a loan, flips a token, becomes a 5-share, and it will get $50 for that loan. And then next up was Bess and then Jay. And Bess has to take a loan. Jay does not have to, but it's going to anyway, because I want Jay to be last for all the reasons I was saying a minute ago.
Right, yeah. So
these are both going to take loans. They're both going to get $50 for the loan and flip a token.
What were all the reasons that you said a minute ago that I obviously missed?
I want Jay to be running last so that I can try to make sure that green breaks before Jay runs.
Yeah, Jay, he wants Jay to be able to connect in.
Yes.
And get the Baltimore token.
Right. I thought he was saying that you wanted Bessemer to go last, and I didn't. Yeah, Garrick, our notepad here is letting us know also not to delete anything. So you learned the hard way that it'll break the scripting when you load it later. Yeah, yes. Thanks for the tip.
And let's say, and now we're going into the acquisition part. So any companies that were in liquidation, we would have to auction off, but there's none of those. Then you go through the acquisition, and if something's an acquisition, anybody can bid on it. You don't get to say no, but you can only acquire companies that went there in the operating round. Because these companies went into acquisition during the M&A round, they are safe. And then now we could do friendly sales. Typically, friendly sales are rare. They're obvious normally. You normally set up a company to be friendly sold. Right now, all of our companies look reasonably healthy. Also, I don't know if anyone could guarantee that they would win the friendly sale if they did it. So we probably just all pass through here.
So what do you mean by that? Win the friendly sale? Oh, you buy your own company?
Yeah.
Got it.
Right. If you have a good company and then you put it up for friendly sale and then someone else ends up winning it, they just took a big chunk of your position.
Yeah.
So it can be hard to recover from that. Even maybe they gave you a whole bunch of cash, so now you're rich from it. But does that really matter if your good company is now gone?
Right. Yeah. Right. Makes sense. Okay. So sorry. We've been playing for about 2 hours. We've gotten through one operating round and a merger and acquisition round. That's pretty incredible. But I do feel like there's been a lot of good decisions already in just that slice of the game, which is a small amount, right?
Yeah. It's been very helpful. It's not very intuitive even.
This is the major barrier.
So it's really interesting seeing.
The reason why I asked Kyle to do this and a couple other people who are also very enthusiastic about 1817 in our Discord is that I've never played an XX that has such a high barrier to entry than 1817, because sure, you can read the rules, and Dan's video over on Bankruptcy Club is very helpful. Does a good job of that, but oh my God, the amount of things to screw up is it's incredible in this game. So yeah, this has been cool sort of seeing here's sort of a basic, standard play and what you might expect. That's been good. I don't know, but this seems like a good place to end the stream tonight, and then we can pick it up here next time in the next operating round. Does that make sense? Or do you want to keep going for a little while?
I'm happy either way. I live on the West Coast, so it's still early for me. But if it is time for you to call it, then we can call it. It is a good stopping point, I think.
Yeah. I think we call it here tonight.
Yep.
And I will send out a little note, have 15 minutes before we do the next one. But I will link in this video when it goes up, and then when we do the next one, I'll link part 2, and I'll make it easy to follow along. I'll put them in a playlist or something on the channel. So 2-hour chunks are nice and digestible too. So
that is true.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, Kyle, for walking us through this again, and look forward to doing the next part of it.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It has been fun.
Cool. All right, bye everybody.